Alright guys, so I am done with my first year of college. I apologize for the late upload, but I was busy doing finals and I'm pretty sure you guys understand that. Today I am going to start kind of a detailing series, I guess. Because up until this point I've had like washing and basic detailing and stuff, so I'm going to do a series of like a full detail start to finish. Just to give you guys a better idea of all the processes and procedures and little tips and tricks you need to do to get through it. This is one subject that I believe that I'm pretty knowledgeable on. So today I'm going to start working on my dad's truck. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so today I am starting a detailing series where I will be bringing this neglected paint up to a showroom standard, swirl free, and I'm going to be topping it off with a ceramic coating that will contain and protect the swirl-free finish. We got two types of clay bar here. There's many varieties of clay bar. This one is your traditional clay bar, and it's called a clay bar because it's pretty much a clay. It's a synthetic clay, and what it does is it picks up embedded surface contaminants that are stuck in the paint. Now this over here is a clay block. It's got a spongy material with a synthetic type of clay on here. Now these both work good. The benefit to this one, and the reason I use this one is if you drop this on the ground, it picks up a bunch of little gravel and stuff, and it scratches like it actually, because these scratch your paint anyways, so you don't really want to do these all the time. But this one, if you drop it on the ground, it'll pick up little bits of like sand and gravel and scratch your paint. So when you drop one, you gotta throw it out. Now this one right here is a clay block, and it's synthetic. So it picks up all the stuff, but if you drop it, you can just rinse it off, which is the reason I use that one. But the other thing about this one is it's easier to hold, which you don't drop it because it's got like a good hold and it's easy to use. This is a Chemical Guys V2, I think. And if you've watched my channel for a little while, you've probably heard me say that I don't like a lot of the products that Chemical Guys sells. They have a few good products. That is one of the products that I use that works very well. And the towels, I use their towels are good, but I mean, you can't really mess up towels, but you know, some of their stuff isn't good, some of their stuff is good. This is definitely one of the products that's good, so I would highly recommend picking you up one of these blocks. It just makes it like 10 times easier, faster process and stuff. But if you have a clay bar like this, they work just as well. I think they're about this. I think this was like $12 or $14, and this is like $7 or $8. So if you're on a budget, that'll work, but it's a lot harder than the block. They also sell clay bar stuff for like your buffer and stuff. If you have a buffer, I've never used one of those, and I'm kind of scared to use it because I feel like it's a little too aggressive for clay barring. So I'm just going to use this one, and I will show you how I use it right now. Alright guys, so I want to give you a little bit of history on this paint. I did detail it. I just clay barred and waxed it a few years ago. So this truck does not have beautiful paint. It's kind of, well, it's really swirled. So I'll put in a still picture right now of kind of what the swirls look like. Metallic paint is really hard to capture swirls on, and that's kind of why they do it. That's why they use a lot of metallic paint. But if you look like right there, you can kind of see just the minor like scratches in the paint. You just look at the edge of the awning as I move the camera. So that's one of the reasons that companies use metallic paint, is because it doesn't show the swirls up in the sunlight as easy, because all the metal flake in it and stuff kind of just catches your attention, and it reflects all the light jaggedly anyways, and that's what a swirl is it reflects the light kind of dispersed. So let me show you something on the Corvette real quick. So like if you look at the Corvette, it's kind of dirty, but you can see them. The Corvette's really detailed though, so let's see if we can find one. Alright, so do you see how like there's some things coming off of the sun? That's a swirl. The Corvette doesn't have very many of them, but all of those things, that's a swirl. Corvette doesn't have very many of them because I detailed it. So that's what's all over this truck, but worse, it's just harder to see because of the metallic paint. But now you know what they look like. If you look for them, you can see them right all over here. Alright, so a common misconception that people have with clay bars is that they remove those swirls, which they don't. They just add swirls. So a lot of people will clay bar their car every wash, and that's kind of a bad idea because that will make your detail not last as long because it's installing swirls on paint that doesn't need to be clay barred. Now, I'm going to show you when you know your car needs to be clay barred. Alright, so both of these surfaces are clean. This top part has been clay barred and this bottom part has not. So I'm going to bring the microphone in closely and see if you could hear this. So do you hear that kind of like sandpaper type texture? If you come up to a vehicle and you rub it, you could feel the roughness. Now on a clay barred surface, which I just touched this. You hear that? Now this is clay barred. So you can tell that you don't hear as much stuff. So if your paint sounds like this, it needs to be clay barred. If it sounds like this, you're good. You don't need to clay bar it. So this is clay barred, no wax. So basically I'm just gonna clay bar the whole truck. So how you go about clay barring is you gotta, of course, clean the surface. If you have wax, you need to wipe it down with a isopropyl alcohol solution, like 50/50 or whatever. They also sell products that strip wax. I don't use them because I think isopropyl alcohol works just fine. So I use isopropyl alcohol when I have to strip wax. And so now you just want a clean surface, and you're going to want to use plenty of clay lube or waterless wash. I use the Ultima waterless wash plus concentrate for everything. I use it for waterless wash, clay lube, quick detailer, all that stuff. So you just want to get a lot of saturation on the area. Just cover the whole area like that, and then you get your clay bar and you wet your clay block or clay bar or whatever, spray that down a bit, and then no pressure, just glide it across the surface. You want to go with speed, not pressure. So like this, and you'll be able to hear it get smoother and hear it smoother when all the contaminants are gone. With a clean towel, not the one you wiped it down with, but with a clean towel, come in and wipe off the surface. And now you'll be able to tell that the surface is slick to the touch. So yeah, here, let me take you in. Alright, so see if you could hear it. Nice and slick. There's still some spots on here that are not glassy smooth, but it's a lot better than it was. Now, a lot of that stuff will come off with a more aggressive clay, like this blue stuff I showed you earlier. That's a more aggressive clay, which would take off literally everything. But since I'm going, not just clay barring it, since I'm going to be polishing it as well, I will not use that just because this clay block is way faster. So that's that. Now I just got to do this for the rest of the truck. That is really dirty. Okay, so at the risk of being too redundant, I'm just gonna take you in for another audio. So you can hear that. It sounds like sandpaper almost. Hope that comes up on camera, but that's unclaybarred. So now I'm going to claybar the driver door and the driver rear door. So I'm gonna do that right now. So, I just thought of something that's noteworthy. Up here it's all smooth and claybarred. And I didn't think of this, but down here on the rocker panel, down here, it's a little bit more aggressive dirt. So, it's still kind of gritty. It's not completely gritty, but you can see that there's chunks of stuff that just didn't come off with the clay block. So, it's probably a good idea to get into these more aggressive spots with the actual clay bar. So I'm going to come back in with this and touch up some of those lower panel spots. Take a look at this. So you see all that debris trapped in there? All that black stuff? That's the stuff that I missed with the other clay bar. That's what's cool about these clay bars, is that you can actually see all the stuff you're picking up. So, as you can tell, I just dropped this clay bar, so now I can just wipe it off and be ready to go. Just a wipe with the clean towel, and it's all smooth again. There's no debris on it, so that's one cool thing. So I kind of just took a little bit of an experiment, but you can see the brown stuff on this clay bar. That's the stuff that this missed. Now you can assume that the rest of the paint missed about that much stuff. So this stuff does work better than this on more aged paint or less taken care of paint. But for what I'm doing now, this is plenty smooth for my next step. You may be thinking, why do I have to clay bar the car if I'm just going to hit it with an aggressive compound and a wheel, and that's going to remove all the stuff? And you're right, it will remove all the debris in the paint, but that will drastically affect how your compound finishes out, because let's just imagine all these little microscopic kind of things sticking out of the paint, and now I come over it with my pad and it just grabs a bunch of the debris that's in there. That stuff is now in your pad, and you're spinning it around all over the paint, and you're trying to work all the swirls out of the paint. But now that you're swinging around a bunch of iron and fallout and debris, now you're swirling that around the paint, you're just creating pigtails all over your paint, which is going to be very hard to get out. So that's why you always, before you compound, you want to clay bar it. Now, there's exceptions to that, and that's if the car, like the Corvette, when I go to polish it, I don't clay bar it unless it really needs it. So I'll kind of go over the top spots with that clay block before I polish it. The top, because it sits for a while, and more debris collects on the top surfaces of the car than it does on the sides. So this surface needs to be clay barred more than the bottom side. So when I polish the Vette, I'll go over the tops, because normally the wax kind of keeps all that stuff off of it. But on a vehicle like this, where it's never been detailed before, you're going to want to clay bar it before, because focus. You're going to want to clay bar it before you polish it, so you don't ruin your finish, because that's just you're just gonna be chasing your own tail. You don't want to do that. So that's why you clay bar. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something. If you liked the video, please leave a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hit that bell icon so you know when the next video in this series comes out. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.